Derek Sheridan from Rust Belt Basketball Coaches Network and the Basketball Nexus website. Thank you for joining us for episode 2 of our Lessons Learned from Last Season's Zoom Clinic, featuring one of my favorite coaches in the entire game. I don't care if we're talking pro, college, or high school, and that's Coach Dave Niland from Penn State Behrend University. As I was researching how to introduce him this last time, as he's been on a couple other of our Zoom clinics, one of the articles I came across started off with the most underrated basketball coach in the nation. And I thought, man, what a great compliment. My wife Stephanie and I got to see Behrend play this year versus Buffalo, and man, they gave the University of Buffalo everything they wanted. They execute their offense with razor sharp precision, and then they sit down and guard on the other end. It's a fun team to watch if you like watching fundamentally sound basketball. They throw the ball to their team, very rarely turn the thing over, and man, do they rebound.
It's good to be here, Derek.
Coach is going to talk to us about lessons he's learned from last season, and as we spoke before I hit the record button, he doesn't have to limit this to just this past season. That's more of just a catchy title. So, Coach, the floor is yours.
Well, we had a good year. Certainly, what I learned was, and you're always learning, doesn't matter how many years you've been doing it. And I think every year is different. You go into the year with an idea, hopefully, of what may work, what your team's going to look like. But we had a young freshman, Jacob Dunkel, ended up being freshman year in our league. And, we thought he was good when we recruited him, but until you get him in practice and you watch him every day, you don't know. So all the planning and the things you think you want to try to do during the year, heading into the year, I had to be a little careful with that. And there's a couple things. One, what can he do? Because we needed size badly. And
the big kid's outstanding. Did you get him with the footwork he currently has, or is that something you added to his repertoire? Because his footwork on the low block is outstanding.
He's a good athlete. He's more athletic than I thought in that regard. Again, you watch him in high school and you don't know. And then he was more athletic than I thought. Look, I always look at it too, and most coaches do this, I would think, is that when you look at your league and who you got to beat, how can we, I look at the top third of our teams or our schedule, and even non-conference games. If we played this way, could we win? If we played this way, what gives us a best chance to win? That's our job, I think, as coaches, is that what's the best chance to win? And you got to go with what you believe in.
They block out and rebound just as well, if not better, than any other college team I had seen all season. Coach Niland just earned his 600 career win on February 27th, 2026, in a 75-55 win versus Hilbert College. This past season, the Lions finished their season with a 20-8 overall record and a 14-2 in the AMCC conference. Penn State Behrend won the AMCC men's basketball tournament for this past season, and you've won that before several times. The Lions secured their 7th overall conference title with a 66-61 victory over Pitt-Greensburg on February 28, 2026. This win also earned the program its 9th NCAA tournament bid.
Hard to coach pressing teams, and they do a wonderful job. But you learn from it when you play against it. But defensively, yeah, we try to figure out how we can play with being efficient. We look at things analytically too, like, all right, what's the best way, and try to play smart. I don't think anybody's ever happy with their ball screen defense. Obviously, if you can switch it all and not get hurt on the boards and mismatches, then you're going to be fine. But we couldn't do that. But we had a little bit of flexibility in what we wanted to do with that. But I think you got to have a couple different ways to handle those actions. And people are getting really good at countering stuff. What you're doing behind it's really important too.